Hello, 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 and welcome back to DLA Alternative. I hope everyone is doing phenomenal as always. It's your boy Brandon, and I want to jump right into this one. This is one that I'm sure a lot of people have been waiting for because it's my most viewed video on this channel, and it's blown my mind ever since it started going crazy. And I feel like a lot of these new subscribers started coming in from that and from the Karen Wheeler theory. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed, liked, and followed this journey. This is only the beginning. There's more than Stranger Things coming. I have a lot of ideas, so don't worry. It's not only going to be Stranger Things based, but this one is a very important one, and it's helped my channel a lot. So I've been trying my hardest to think of a way to develop a part 2 for Max is the Flea. So welcome to Max is the Flea part 2. I think I finally have started to figure out a way to do this without knowing exactly what's happening to Max before season 5 happens, because we do have some hints throughout season 4 that I'm starting to notice. And if you think about them in terms of knowing already that Max is going to be taken or something bad is going to happen to Max, if you think about it like you know this already and then review back, that's when you start to see these hints. And that's how I've been developing all of these theories. When you know the end of the information and you're trying to figure out future stuff, you didn't know things were about to happen in those seasons. And then you end up knowing it happens. So you can figure out how that was going to happen or hints that it was going to happen all the way leading up to that. And all of that is going to relay to our final season, season 5. So you can start doing this yourself if you are interested. I just started this channel based off of ideas that I had. So if you have ideas that you're not so much of a creator, but you have these ideas that you would like someone to create, let me know down in the comments in this video, and maybe I could start developing other theories based off of your ideas. Let's get right into this one. So what I want everyone to do is I want everyone to jump to season 4, chapter 8, Papa. And I want you to jump to timestamp 4135 to 4408, roughly at the start and end of that, okay? And you'll know it because it's only Max and Lucas's conversation. And it's after they stole the RV and they're on their way to that war surplus store to get weapons and all this supplies so that they can go plan and figure out what to do. Well, Max and Lucas are finally having a deep conversation after all this time because so much has been going on and they haven't really had time to sit down and just talk like they used to. And that's how this kind of starts. So Lucas is talking to Max and he's trying to figure out this elaborate way so that Max doesn't have to use herself as a sacrifice in order to lure Vecna. She's like, stop, stop, stop. We don't have time for all that, right? And she starts explaining why and how she thinks that this can work. And this is what sprung my idea for Max is the Flea part 2, based off this entire conversation. So the thing Max says that drew my attention right away, and I was like, oh, wait, this could connect to the Flea. So Lucas is saying all that stuff, and then she stops him. And then she basically says that if they do that, it would be putting a stranger at risk. And putting a stranger at risk who doesn't know what they're up against. And that drew my attention so hard, like never before. Because one, it's the term stranger, which is in the title of this show. And I don't know how often that term is actually used. I've never thought about that until filming this right now. So this is raw footage right here. I have never thought about that actually. Does anyone know how often the term strange or stranger is used in this show? Specifically the term stranger, because that's straight from the title, okay? Well, Max basically says that they can't put a stranger at risk who doesn't know what they're up against. Well, think about this logically. Who was Max in season 2 when we first got introduced to her? She was our brand new character, and a brand new character who was basically replacing Elle in the group as the girl of the group. And Mike didn't like that. Dustin and Lucas loved it. And, you know, it ended up that she became part of this group. But she was a stranger to this group who got put at risk against something she knew nothing about. So if you think logically, she basically explained herself in that sentence is that she is now not a stranger to this and that she knows how to beat this. So that's some Flea-like shit, if you want to ask me, is that she is fucking ready and she knows that she knows how to handle this correctly. And she knows what Vecna is doing and how he is doing it while they are in this mindset trap. Okay, so let's continue. So she explains to Lucas that basically he's doing this by taking memories, but only bad memories, and trapping them and making them afraid. And that's all he can see is darkness. So her explanation is if she runs the opposite way, because she knows that she can go in places that he didn't know how she got there. And I explained that in part 1, that Vecna did not know how Max got into his lair. He has no idea. He asked her that. He says, how did you get in here, Max? You know, he does that fucking shit. That scary little voice. So basically, Max knows that she can enter places that Vecna does not know how she did it. So she knows that she should be able to run the other direction from what he's trying to bring her into. So she explains that by running to the light. Okay, and that's kind of what you see the first time she almost gets taken. That's when she entered his lair. She almost gets taken, and then Lucas plays Kate Bush running up that hill. She sees that hole of light right there with all of them and her body floating up there. So she knows that if she runs to that light, that's how she's going to escape. The thing about that is, if you really think logically about where Max is at, Max is not trapped in her own mind right now. And I've been reviewing this show and I thought about it logically, that Max is not in her mind. Elle tried to find her in her mind and couldn't find her. It was completely blank. And that's because when all of that happened and Vecna disappeared, okay, Elle was able to get out because she can do that shit. But Max is now trapped inside of Vecna, Henry #1's mind. So she's in his mind. So the only way for them to logically find her is for them to track down Vecna and get into his mind. And if he knows how to block people off from his mind, which maybe he can do, and that's why Elle had to piggyback in order to get into his mindset. So right after that point in the conversation is when Max also says that she has to think of a happy memory and run to the light of that, basically. So if Lucas remembers that in season 5, that's a way that they can try and find Max, right? Elle is going to try and find Max in happy memories, and Elle has been to a few of Max's happy memories, but Max is not in her own mindset. You have to remember that. So they're going to be looking in the wrong places, and they might not be able to find her in those happy memories at all because her mindset is gone. It's trapped in Henry's. So that's why I'm saying they're going to have to go into his mindset, or they can try and go into Lucas's mindset and go into his happy memories that he also has had with Max. And the reason I say that is because Lucas asked Max in this conversation, was I in that happy memory? And she says, that's pretty presumptuous of you. Mm-hmm. And then she says, yeah, you were in there. So they know, and if Lucas remembers, they know that if they can locate a happy memory that Lucas and Max were both a part of, Max might be there. But this is if Max is able to find that light and find those happy memories while she is trapped in Henry's mind. And that's where the Flea and the acrobat and Max is the Flea comes right back into play. Is Max really the Flea? Because if Max is truly the Flea, then logically, she is now trapped inside of that timeline, correct? And that connects to part 1 of Max is the Flea. But if she's trapped inside of that mindset, which is inside of this timeline, right? She's trapped inside Henry's. So she's not going to be able to get out unless Henry lets her out. So they're going to have to infiltrate Henry's mindset somehow, or they're going to have to do that with Lucas's and somehow pull her out of Henry's and pull her back into Lucas's. So logically, if they can do that, they might be able to pull her out of Henry's mind. But if they cannot do that, they're going to have to go into Henry's mind to find Max. because Max can travel all throughout these different areas of his mindset. So she might be able to locate a happy memory in Henry's mindset. And that's the trigger. If she can locate the light in Henry's mindset, which if there is any at all, then she will try and find that. But if there isn't any, then Max is now trapped in all darkness. So this is where I'm going to leave you with Max is the Flea Part 2. And I already have an idea for Max is the Flea Part 3. And that's why I'm going to leave you with this. If she is trapped inside Henry's mindset and there is no light, no happy memories at all, and her friends are trying to find her in the wrong places, this is going to take a long time for them to locate Vecna, locate Henry, and get his ass trapped enough in order to find a way to get into his mind. Because he can shut that shit off. There's no doubt in my mind that Henry can shut that shit off, so Elle is not going to be able to locate him at all. So if you think logically like that, if all of this season they're trying to find Max in the wrong places, Max is slowly not going to be able to find this light, and she's going to be in all darkness in some crazy motherfucker's head. So think logically, and that's why I'm going to leave you with this. If she is trapped in here and she's just traveling, trying to find light in this dark-ass place, why do you think she has the nickname Mad Max? And why do you think they showed us that all the way back in season 2? And that was the introduction to that season, our actual stranger, and the thing that this entire show could truly be about. I'm going to leave you with that. It's your boy Brandon, DLA Alternative. Keep following, keep subscribing, and liking the journey. Much love as always. And you already know, we out!